These days, it feels like we're always racing against the clock. Between work, family, obligations, and non-stop social media, it's easy to feel like we're stuck in a constant state of chaos. With so much going on all the time, it's no wonder our emotional well-being gets pushed to the back burner, usually ignored until the stress and anxiety become way too loud to ignore. The thing is, the more we try to juggle everything, the harder it gets to stay calm. Modern life expects us to be productive, efficient, and still meet all these personal and social expectations. No wonder emotional balance feels like an uphill battle. Ever feel like you're trying to keep a dozen plates spinning at once, and at any second, one's about to crash? That's the perfect way to describe what so many of us live every day. Non-stop pressure that pushes us to the edge. But here's the good news, there is a way to find balance, even in the middle of the madness. With a few small habits and a shift in mindset, you can learn how to handle your emotions better and deal with the chaos without letting it take over. In this video, we're going to break down what emotional balance really means, why it matters so much, and most importantly, how you can start building that sense of inner calm. The goal here isn't to become some perfectly zen person all the time. It's about finding practical ways to live lighter, even when life gets heavy. When we talk about emotional balance, a lot of people immediately think it means staying calm and chill no matter what. But the truth is, it's not about ignoring or stuffing down your feelings. It's about learning how to handle them in a healthy way. It's totally normal to feel angry, sad, or frustrated sometimes. The problem is when those emotions take over and start running the show. Emotional balance means being able to name what you're feeling, understand where it's coming from, and respond with intention instead of just reacting on impulse. Think about a stressful situation, like getting hit with unexpected criticism at work. Without emotional balance, your gut reaction might be defensive or even snappy. But with it, you're more likely to take a deep breath, sit with it for a sec, and respond in a more grounded way, without letting your emotions hijack the whole moment. That kind of response changes everything, especially in how we handle tough situations and our relationships. And here's the thing, emotional balance doesn't just affect your mindset, it has a huge impact on your physical health too. When we're emotionally balanced, our bodies handle stress better. We sleep better, we're less tense, and those random headaches show up less often. Plus, we make clearer decisions and live in a way that actually lines up with what we care about. Now that we've got a better picture of what emotional balance is and why it's so key, there's a question that always comes up. If it's so good for us, why is it so hard to keep? And that's exactly what we're digging into next. You ever notice how you start the day feeling fine, calm even, but by the end, you're ready to lose it over something small, like traffic or a weird text? That's usually because we're on autopilot, not even noticing the stuff that's slowly chipping away at us. Emotional balance slips when we let the daily pressures pile up with no space to pause and check in with ourselves. One of the biggest culprits is chronic stress. We live in a world that glorifies being busy. If we're not constantly doing something productive, we feel like we're falling behind. That kind of mindset creates major mental overload and keeps us in this permanent state of alert. And when your body thinks it's under threat all the time, it starts pumping out stress hormones like cortisol. You know what that leads to? Anxiety, irritability, and yep, totally losing your emotional balance. And then there are complicated relationships. Work drama, family issues, or even draining friendships can throw us off balance in ways we don't always notice right away. The tricky part? We can't control how other people act, but we can control how we respond. The catch is, you've got to be centered emotionally to do that. And that's not easy when life's moving a mile a minute, and you never take a break. That inner critic, yeah, that nagging voice in your head that keeps saying you should be more patient, more productive, more put together, she's exhausting. And honestly, she's one of the biggest reasons we're always feeling like we're not good enough. That constant pressure we put on ourselves just kills any shot at emotional balance. When perfection is the goal, even the tiniest mistake feels like a total failure. It's no wonder we're always frustrated or overwhelmed. Another habit that throws everything off is reacting on impulse. When we don't take the time to understand what we're feeling, our emotions end up running the show. It's like a tiny spark turns into a full-blown fire before we even realize what's happening. And suddenly we're spiraling and not even sure why. So now that we know why we lose our emotional balance, the next big question is, how do we get it back? In the next part, we'll go over some simple, powerful ways to help you find calm again, even on your most chaotic days. Now that you've got a better idea of what's throwing you off balance, let's talk about how to actually get that balance back. The good news? You don't need to flip your whole life upside down. Just a few small habits can make a big difference. Let's start with something super simple that you can do anytime: deep breathing. Sounds basic, but taking a few slow, deep breaths can calm your nervous system in minutes. Next time you're about to snap, just pause and take 5 deep breaths. Inhale through your nose, exhale slowly through your mouth. It helps release tension and clears your head so you can deal with things more calmly. Another powerful tool? Mindfulness. And no, I'm not saying you need to sit and meditate for hours. Mindfulness is just learning to stay present. Try this: pick a daily activity, like drinking your morning coffee or washing dishes, and focus 100% on it. Notice the smell, the feel, the sounds. It might feel silly at first, but it actually trains your brain to stop spinning out, helps you stay grounded, and keeps you from reacting out of habit. And let's not forget about movement. Physical activity is huge for emotional balance. When you exercise, your body releases endorphins, that feel-good hormone, and it helps burn off all that built-up stress before it turns into tension or anxiety. You don't need a hardcore gym routine. Even a 20-minute walk can change your whole mood. Just find something you enjoy, so you'll actually stick with it. Also, don't overlook the power of spirituality. For a lot of people, spiritual practices like prayer or meditation bring a deep sense of peace. Taking a few quiet moments each day to connect with something bigger than yourself can help put things into perspective. Sometimes, what feels like a huge deal is just a small bump in the road when you zoom out. If faith is part of your life, try setting aside even 5 minutes to pray, journal, or just sit in silence with your thoughts. And here's the key: don't overwhelm yourself trying to do all of this at once. Pick 1 or 2 habits that feel right for you and start there. Emotional balance is something we build little by little. Each small step adds up. In the next part, we'll dive into emotional intelligence, one of the most powerful tools to help you stay steady when life gets chaotic. If there's one thing that can totally change how you deal with chaos, it's emotional intelligence. It doesn't mean controlling your feelings like a robot. It means knowing what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and figuring out how to deal with it in a healthy way. Emotional intelligence is really about finding the sweet spot between feeling your emotions and acting with intention. And to get there are 5 skills you need to develop: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Let's break each one down. First up, self-awareness. This is your foundation. The more you understand your own emotions and what sets them off, the easier it is to keep things in check. You know that moment when you're about to snap at someone? If you already know your triggers, you can catch yourself before things blow up. And that's where self-regulation comes in. It's not about bottling things up, it's about choosing your response. Like if something ticks you off, instead of yelling, you take a breath and calmly say what's bothering you. That kind of response keeps things from getting worse and saves you from regrets later. Next is motivation, and we're not talking about hustle culture or chasing goals. This is about staying grounded and emotionally steady, even when life gets hard. When you know what matters to you and what you're working toward, you're less likely to get thrown off by every little bump in the road. Then there's empathy. This is what lets you connect with other people's feelings. Say a coworker's having a rough day and snaps at you. With empathy, instead of snapping back, you recognize that they might be dealing with something heavy, and you respond with patience. It helps cut down conflict and builds better relationships. Finally, social skills. These are what help you communicate clearly, handle tension without drama, and build strong, healthy connections. One simple way to build this is to really pay attention to how you talk with people. Do you listen more than you speak? Can you express your thoughts without sounding harsh or defensive? Little changes like that go a long way. When we bring those 5 skills together, we're not just better at handling our emotions, we also start creating a space around us that supports our balance. And that's what gets us ready for the next big thing: facing all the chaos out there without letting it knock us off center. Let's be real, life out there is a total mess. From tight deadlines at work to that never-ending traffic, it feels like everything's designed to drive us crazy. But here's the thing: while we can't control everything going on around us, we can control how we respond. And that makes all the difference. One of the most powerful ways to stay calm in the middle of the chaos is building emotional resilience. It doesn't mean you never get shaken up, it means that when you do, you bounce back faster. A big part of that is learning to accept the things you can't control. Think about the last time you were stressed over something you couldn't change, like a delayed flight. Yeah, it sucks, but freaking out over it just makes it worse. In moments like that, the best thing to do is focus on what is in your hands, like putting on some music you love or getting ahead on something on your phone. Another great strategy is cutting back on all the noise. These days, we're hit with nonstop news and most of it's bad. No wonder we're always on edge. That's why it helps to set boundaries like turning off phone notifications during certain times or not checking social media the second you wake up. It might seem like a small thing, but giving yourself that digital break seriously protects your peace. Setting healthy boundaries in your relationships matters too. You know that one friend who's always unloading their problems on you, but never asks how you're doing? It's good to be there for people, but not at the cost of your own peace. Learn to say no when you need to, without guilt. You matter too, and your energy isn't unlimited. At the end of the day, staying calm in the middle of external chaos is a daily practice. It's not about being perfect. It's about catching those moments when something's throwing you off and choosing how to respond. That's the difference between being tossed around by the storm or sailing through it with grace. We may not have much control over the world around us, but building a peaceful space inside ourselves, that's totally within reach, even when everything feels upside down. And no, it doesn't mean doing a total life makeover or waiting for the perfect moment, spoiler. It never comes. Peace starts with tiny habits and small rituals that give you little breathers throughout your day. Here's one super simple idea. Start your morning with a few quiet minutes. Right after you wake up, before diving into texts and notifications, just sit in silence for a bit. Use that time to check in with yourself, take a few deep breaths, and set an intention for the day. It doesn't have to be deep. Something like, "Today I'm going to try to be more patient," is more than enough. That little moment helps you start your day more centered and grounded. Another way to create that peaceful vibe? Take care of your space. When you tidy up your home or make a cozy little corner for reading or sipping coffee, it actually shifts your mood. Even something small, like lighting a candle with a scent you love, can bring on a wave of calm. But the most important peaceful space is the one inside you, the one you build within. That's where spiritual practices come in. Whether it's prayer, meditation, or just thinking about the good parts of your day, these moments help lighten your emotional load and give you the strength to face whatever comes your way. Creating and holding on to these peaceful spaces is kind of like carrying a little portable sanctuary with you. No matter where you are or what you're dealing with, you know you can go there anytime you need a break. And having that safe place, even if it's just inside your mind, makes all the difference when it comes to staying emotionally grounded. If there's one thing that's been clear throughout this whole conversation, it's that emotional balance isn't some final destination, it's a daily journey. Every small habit you pick up, every moment of calm you carve out, helps you build it. Learning how to handle your emotions, developing emotional intelligence, and creating that inner peace are all steps that slowly guide you toward a lighter, more balanced life. It's super important to remember. There's no such thing as perfection in this process. Being emotionally balanced doesn't mean you'll never feel anxious, irritated, or overwhelmed. We all have rough days, and that's okay. What really matters is how you choose to deal with those moments. Once you realize you don't have to control everything and start focusing on what is within your reach, your whole approach to chaos changes. So, how about starting today? Pick one practice that really spoke to you and try it out. It can be something super simple, like taking a few deep breaths when you're feeling tense, or giving yourself 5 quiet minutes at some point in your day. The magic is in the little things. When they stack up, they lead to big shifts. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss what's coming next. And of course, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know what you thought, what practices you already use, and which ones you're thinking of trying. Oh, and if you've got ideas or topics you'd like to see here, share them with us. Your feedback means a lot and helps make this space even more meaningful and welcoming. So, are you ready to walk this journey with us toward a more balanced life? Let's do this together.